December 11th, 1998. On day 9 of their mission to construct the International Space Station, the crew of Space Shuttle Endeavour is unpacking new hardware when they spot an irregular shadow floating some distance away. They quickly take photographs of the oddly shaped object, but its dark color makes it difficult to identify, almost as if it was meant to be camouflaged against the darkness of space.
The vast, silent, and ever mysterious expanse of space holds our greatest questions, and for a select few, the most perplexing sights. For years, the testimony of astronauts, our most trusted observers on the final frontier, has been a source of intense speculation in the search for extraterrestrial life. When a veteran of hundreds of days in orbit speaks about an encounter with an unidentified flying object, the world listens, anticipating a revelation that could change everything. The silence has been broken with a truth that is in many ways more complex and telling about our own perceptions. Join us as we launch into the earth-shattering truth behind a fascinating UFO encounter involving astronauts. Encounter over the Atlantic. Before he was a record-breaking spacefarer, Scott Kelly was a pilot, accustomed to the high-stakes environment of military aviation. It was during this chapter of his career, while flying an F-14 Tomcat in the military operating areas off Virginia Beach, that he had his own brush with the unidentified. He reported that his radar intercept officer, RIO, the man in the back seat, was utterly convinced they had flown past a UFO. The conviction in his crewmate's voice was palpable, an urgent alert that something inexplicable was sharing their airspace. In that critical moment, the object was, by definition, an unidentified flying object. It was an anomaly that demanded investigation. Acting on instinct and training, Kelly banked the powerful fighter jet, turning around to get a closer look at the mysterious intruder. The tension of the chase, the possibility of what they might find, represented a scenario that has fueled 1,000 conspiracy theories. Yet the climax of this real-life drama was not a close encounter of the third kind. As they approached the object, its form became clear, resolving from a mysterious blip into something bafflingly familiar. Kelly stated it turned out to be Bart Simpson, a balloon. This single incident encapsulates a core dilemma of the UAP phenomenon. An experienced, highly trained observer, in a moment of genuine uncertainty, identified a potential anomaly. A rigorous, clear-eyed investigation, however, revealed a mundane, almost comical explanation. For Kelly, this became a foundational experience, a lesson in how easily perception can be deceived. It was not a tale of government cover-ups or alien visitors, but a more human story about the fallibility of observation, even when the stakes are sky-high. His breaking silence on this story at a NASA panel was not to reveal a hidden truth about aliens, but to illuminate a more fundamental truth about the challenges of data and perception in the UAP debate. Cosmic illusions.
Tonight, we're looking into posts being spread on social media. They claim the James Webb Space Telescope spotted a large object about 10 light years away moving toward Earth. The posts claim that the telescope captured the object changing its trajectory in an unnatural manner, meaning it must be some sort of extraterrestrial life.
Scott Kelly's 340 consecutive days aboard the International Space Station granted him a perspective of Earth and its surroundings that few humans will ever experience. From that vantage point, 250 miles above the planet, he witnessed countless phenomena that defied easy explanation. He recalled on numerous occasions seeing things in space that did not seem to be behaving as they should. Trajectories appeared to bend, and objects seemed to move in ways that defied the predictable physics of orbital mechanics. For a mind not trained in the subtle complexities of astrophysics and optics, these moments could have easily been interpreted as evidence of intelligently controlled craft. However, Kelly explained that after observing these events long enough, a scientific explanation would invariably emerge. Every single time, the culprit was a phenomenon known as atmospheric lensing. This optical illusion occurs when the light from a distant object, such as a star, another satellite, or a piece of space debris, passes through the layers of Earth's atmosphere. He elaborated that what he was looking at was often an object flying behind the atmosphere. Because of the variations in the atmosphere's density and temperature, the light from that object would be bent and manipulated, making its trajectory appear erratic and nonlinear. It's the same principle that can make the sun appear higher in the sky than it is. effectively extending daylight. For an astronaut looking down or at an angle through the thin veil of air, this lensing effect can transform a straight-moving piece of debris into something that looks like it's intelligently maneuvering. The breaking of silence on his part serves as a crucial piece of testimony. Kelly, the man who spent more consecutive time in space than almost any other American, confirmed that his eyes, like any humans, could be tricked by the fundamental properties of light and air. A legacy of misinterpretation.
What's intriguing is nobody really knows where the name Black Knight satellite came from. We can't find where the reference suddenly came into Black Knight.
The phenomenon of astronaut sightings being co-opted by ufologists is as old as the space race itself. Astronauts are held up as figures of immense credibility. Their training, technical expertise, and first-hand experience makes them the strongest bodies of evidence in the eyes of many UFO proponents. Yet a closer examination of the historical record reveals a consistent pattern of misinterpretation, context stripping, and outright fabrication. One of the earliest and most cited cases involved Gemini 4 pilot Jim McDivitt. During the 1965 mission, he reported seeing and photographing a white cylindrical shape with a white pole sticking out of one corner of it. While McDivitt himself maintained that he believed it to be an unknown piece of man-made debris, possibly from another country's satellite, the incident was quickly absorbed into UFO lore as a confirmed sighting. Aerospace historian James Oberg later argued convincingly that the object was most likely the detached Titan II second stage of their own launch vehicle. Similarly, during the Gemini 7 mission, transcripts revealed the astronauts mentioning a bogey. This military slang for an unidentified aircraft was seized upon as proof of a UFO encounter. However, astronaut Frank Borman, who made the comment, later confirmed that what he saw was simply booster-associated debris. He recounted that when he offered to appear on the television program Unsolved Mysteries to clarify the incident and state for the record that it was not a UFO, the producers declined, telling them they weren't sure they wanted him on the program. Perhaps the most persistent story is the hoax, perpetuated by science fiction writer Otto Binder, that Apollo 11 commander Neil Armstrong witnessed multiple UFOs during the historic moon landing. The story has been thoroughly debunked, yet it endures. Buzz Aldrin, for his part, has spoken of how his own words were taken out of context from a 2005 interview. He clarified that he had indeed observed a light out the window that appeared to be moving alongside the Apollo 11 crew. However, the crew logically concluded it was likely one of the 4 jettisoned panels from the spacecraft adapter, which would travel in a similar trajectory for some time. In each case, the astronauts' sober, logical assessments were overshadowed by a more sensational and ultimately unsupported narrative. The ISS era. The International Space Station has continuously hosted a human presence and a constant stream of high-definition video, which has not diminished the phenomenon of UFO sightings, but instead has adapted it for the digital age. In recent years, several incidents aboard the ISS have been claimed as definitive proof of UFOs, only to later receive mundane explanations. In 2005, astronaut Leroy Chiao reported seeing strange lights during a spacewalk. He described them as being arranged in a line and shaped almost like an upside-down checkmark. The incident was prominently featured in a television series exploring the possibility of extraterrestrial life. But Chow himself later explained the lights were from a commercial fishing boat flotilla on Earth, located hundreds of miles below him. The unique angle and darkness of space created a perplexing sight, but the source was entirely terrestrial. More recently, in August 2013, astronaut Christopher Cassidy saw an object floating past the station near a Progress cargo ship. The footage was quickly seized upon as a UFO sighting, but it was soon identified by Russian flight controllers as a discarded antenna cover from the Zvezda service module, which was part of their own orbital home. In 2020, Russian cosmonaut Ivan Wagner shared a striking time-lapse video of the Aurora Australis that appeared to show 5 mysterious objects flying in formation, which he playfully referred to as space guests. The video quickly went viral, but he later clarified that further analysis revealed the guests were in fact satellites flying in formation. Now it's time to hear from you. Does the abundance of earthly explanations reduce the mystery, or does it help us focus more on what remains unknown? Let us know in the comments section below.